This is take 3 on how to record on Red Cool Video. All right, first off, Red Cool Video is an internet-based program that the Chromebook has easy access to. Now, I've used it a couple times, so whenever I click on the Chrome button down here, I get my kind of Google menu, and as you can see, it's already on my desktop. By the way, I'm going to demo this with a desktop computer because I don't have a Chromebook. All right. Now, there's some things that Mr. Ward will have to kind of chip in and help you, or we'll add another video showing you how to do this later on. But the first thing is we're going to click on that Red Cool icon, or after you get it. And this is what the initial screen looks like. Okay? Now, before we can do any recording and improvisation, I need to have a resource track. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by going to the top left corner where it says File. By the way, that little arrow there, I'll try to scooch around this green area so you can find where the arrow is, and that'll help you find things. So I'm going to go up to the word File. I'm going to click on it, and on the drop-down menu, I'm going to select the very first one. The first thing is Import Local Sound File. Click on that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the part where it says Choose File, because this Import Audio window comes up. So I'm going to choose a file from my desktop in this case. All right, so I'm going to scroll down till I look and see some MP3s. Okay, one I'm going to use is 12-bar blues, B-flat major chords, 14151. I'm going to highlight that, then I'm going to open it. All right, now that goes away, it goes back to this window. Now I have to come down to the bottom and hit Import Audio. And then you can see it's processing, and voila, that's the resource track. Now, the play button is up here on the top left corner. It's the black triangle facing to the right. Okay, and you get the idea. Now, right there, this is a timeline, and this scrolls so you can see where you are in the solo or in the resource track. All right, so you got to remember every time before you're going to start something, you have to go back here to the beginning button and press that, and then you notice the triangle that was here is now back in this corner. It's now ready to try it again. Now, to record, we go to the bottom of the screen, and you'll see this green dot inside a green square. That's the record button. Now, normally the record button is red, but for some reason, Red Cool decided to make it green. At any rate, when you click on that record button, you'll hear music play, but you'll not see anything happen on your screen. Also, the record button will then turn into the stop button, which you'll have to use later on. Now, the second track and the sound waves will not appear until after you hit the stop button, which is going to be the same button, except it's going to be a green square inside that green background. All right, now, as it's still playing, okay, you'll have to come up here and hit the pause button. Now, it's the play button right now, but you'll see two parallel lines, that's the pause button. You should have to turn off both of those, and then you will see the second track that you just recorded. Now, presently I'm using a small speaker, which is plugged into my microphone jack, and then a headphone set that's plugged into the headphone jack in the front of my desktop computer. So I'm using very, very basic equipment for this demonstration. I will press the green button and get ready to play along with the MP3 after the click track, which is 8 counts, using the 3-ring blues clock mat. Okay, so once again, I'm coming down. I'm going to press this right here. Okay, and etc. So that gives you the basic idea. Now I'm going to come down and press that square. Notice it keeps playing, so you have to come back here and hit that pause button. Now, the next thing you got to do is remember this, because I always forget it personally. Notice that the triangle, which is the slider for where we are on the timeline, is over here in the middle someplace. So before I do anything, I've got to hit the rewind button or the back to beginning button, and now you notice that half that triangle is over here at the beginning. Okay, now after both buttons are pressed, you'll see that the second track has now appeared on your screen just below the original resource track. So next I'm going to talk about how to prepare to turn your assignment in. But first, as I said, do not forget to hit the rewind button to take that slide triangle back to the beginning. Now, before I do anything else, let's listen to our recording with the resource track. So I come back up here and I'm going to hit the play button. Okay, and wait, what's wrong? Something's wrong. Those click tracks are completely off. Did you hear that? Wasn't together at all. Now that is called latency. Now latency is basically the delay of what you are recording with the sound waves on the track that already has been recorded. Luckily, it's an easy fix. To solve the problem, I'm going to go down to the bottom of my screen and look for a horizontal zoom slider adjuster, okay, which is down here. Now I'm going to slide it all the way almost to the right, and notice how the waves become much larger. Now again, double hit the back to beginning button just to be sure you're all the way at the beginning. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the click tracks, all right, because see how the click tracks are so small. But what I am going to do, since I've blown this up, I'm going to slide it over a little bit, and this line right here is where the resource track started playing the chords, and then this is where my sound of the trombone solo begins. Again, it's a latency problem. So all I have to do, I'm starting it right about this line right here. So I come up and I basically be sure that this particular button's green here, that arrow pointing to that square, and then when I click on this track, I'll get a hand. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it over until I line those up. So I look at this line right here and see how it kind of lines up with the chords. Now, I'm going to go back to the beginning again, as I said once again. Let's listen to it and see if our line up any better. Here we go. I hear a little off. It fits just fine. All right, so you pause it, go back to the beginning, and that is how you deal with the problem of latency. But you have volume controls here. Okay, so I can make the trombone or the resource part louder. I'll show you what I mean. So by going to the very end of these green lines on the dark gray, which is your volume part of the track, okay, you can adjust it and you can go ahead and balance it out. Now, once I've got that far, I have to send the assignment to me. I'm going to send the thing back to the beginning again. All right, to do that, I come up here where you see the MP3 button, okay? So right up here, see the arrow? I click on it. Now, what it's doing, it's going through a process of converting and exporting your Red Cool file, it's called a project file, into an MP3 or an audio file. Now that takes a while. Now my guess would be it took about between 1 and 2 minutes. So it's a little time, but not that much. Now you get these three options, okay? Now, one way I do it on my computer is I can go ahead and hit this new project and then basically then download it onto my desktop. But for Google Classroom purposes, what I want you to do is come here and click on the UL export audio file to URL and download. So I click onto that, and it takes me, well, we got to wait 30 seconds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an audio file of the recording that I just made. I can adjust overall volume here if I want. No, I can't. Someplace. All right, that sounds pretty good. Pause it up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to highlight the internet address for your improvisation recording project. I'm going to copy it. Then I just go to any kind of document. Okay. And then I hit Control V and boom, there it is. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here to the URL that I saved on a document. I come over here and I'm going to hit Save As, and I'm going to title it. I'm going to go, let me think. I'm going to put the date first, so that's 0402. Okay. And then I'm going to put my name, Mr. Moon. And then Improv Project 1. Okay, you can name anything you want, but the important thing is you have the date first and then your name. And then if it has a title, like this is an exercise I did myself, but normally you put the title of the song where it says Improv Project. Okay, now I'm going to save it, in this case onto my desktop. Again, remember I'm using a computer. You'll be using a Chromebook. All right, I'm going to minimize that. All right, I'm going to go down here to Chrome and get Google up. And now I'm going to go up here to the tic-tac-toe board at the top right corner, and I'm going to click on that so I can get Google Classroom. All right, now I'm going to hit, in this case, your classroom. All righty, and then I'm going to go to the classwork, and I'm going to click on, let's say this is where I made the assignment. Click on that. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to edit. So I'm going up here to the three dots and hit Edit. Okay, then I'm going to come and hit Add. I'm transferring a file because it's just a document. I hit the File button. Now I'm going to minimize it so I can drag and drop. Okay, so there's my improvisation. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm sorry, no, it's this one. Okay, because it's the document I'm looking for. I'm going to take my document and slide it over to here. All right, now once it's there, you have to remember to upload it. Okay, and then once it's uploaded, you hit the word Save at the top right corner. All right, once that is done, okay, then I can go. Now, once you've done that, see, then you put it in the assignment. And there's the date, there's my name. So I, as the teacher, then can pull yours up, and when I click on it, it takes me to that URL. And I can listen to it. Now, the cool thing about it is not only can I get it to read it, listen to it, grade it, but, you know, you can sit there and you can look at all your friends, you know, you'll see the date and the name, and you can listen to their improvisation recordings. So, like, you can not only just listen to your own, but you can listen to each other's. So I thought that's really kind of a cool feature of it. So, again, it's a lot of steps, but it's fairly easy. So, you know, I'm going to break it down into a script, and I'm going to do a video on this thing, and hopefully with that, it'll help you and should go fairly easy. Thank you so much. Bye.